Body, mind, and spirit. Creating calm in the chaos. Just the title gets me excited. So we're going to get some solutions to hopefully creating calm in the chaos. Please welcome back to the stage one of our event hosts, the fabulous and talented Donna Karan. And joining her will be Elizabeth Lesser, Kris Carr, Lisa Oz, Agapi Stassinopoulos, and Colleen Sedman Yee. Enjoy.
These are lovely couches. This is what we call a hot panel. This is woman to woman, or known as the we. We are women. And we have an extraordinary panel with us today, and thank you all for being a part of this, because actually, you guys are the change in the world we're looking at. And without further ado, we want to get you involved, and we're going to be involved. We're going to have a great time. Elizabeth Lesser. Oh my God, where did I get Elizabeth Glaser? Okay, there I go. I would say she's my inspiration, not my mother, but because us girls don't talk about our age. However, what she has done is really had the core insight to realize that it's the collective consciousness that gets people together and teaching and learning. As the co-founder of, oh my goodness, I can't believe Omega Institute, of course, I always go there. We all go to Omega. The Omega Institute, which really is that place and space where you want to get away from everything and learn. I highly recommend you all going there if you haven't been there already. And the writer of I have to put on my glasses, I'm terribly sorry, it's about that age thing again. Author of The Seeker's Guide, and then Who's Not Seeking? Certainly I am. And Broken Open, how difficult times can help us grow. And I think that's probably what we're all about today, how to find the calm in the chaos. So Elizabeth, thank you for joining us. Now my little child over here, because I call her my little child, I can't help it, Kris Carr, is that brightness of light. I met Kris about 4 years ago, and she came and handed me a tape. So if anybody has any tapes, that would be great. I'd love to take your tape. And I didn't sleep that night because Kris Carr motivated my life through crazy, sexy cancer. And whenever I think about how sexy and crazy cancer could be, she is probably the sexiest, crazy woman I know. Well, next to a few other women I know, sitting next to her. We've decided we're changing it from the calm and the chaos till sex conversations. Lisa Oz. Well, I'm sure you've seen her face, her image, her everything. Her partner in crime is Mehmet Oz. Now that's a family to be reckoned with. And behind every woman stands a great man, and he's a great man, but we know behind every great man stands a greater woman, and that's Lisa Oz. Certainly involved in everything that Mehmet does, but really is a course of her own. And we're going to hear all about what she has done and her children, being a mother, trying to handle it all and balance it. I think that's what we all try to do today. Now, Agapi, you're going to have to help me out on the last name.
Okay, together.
Okay.
Stassinopoulos.
Stassinopoulos. Agapi Stassinopoulos. Now, did I do it right? Now, I'd really love to be in Greece with her right now. Agapi is, look at that smile. And that's what she is. She's about a goddess. She's about a smile. She's about love. And she has an amazing relationship with a sister, who's Ariana Huffington, who we've all been seeing today. And I think it's that balance of woman to woman that really kind of makes it happen, right? I don't know, who's inspiring you?
Definitely, each other. We're each other's inspiration. But you know, we had this amazing mother who I will share a little bit about her, because she kind of instilled that in us. She put those seeds there about being there for each other. And I think this is what the day is about.
Well, the Greek goddess. You're from Greece, and of course you're taking our past into the present and into the future.
That's right.
Right? where I start off with my teacher, so I have to be a good girl today. Colleen, are you there, honey? I can't believe I'm...
I just thought,
Where's her other half? Is he here? You don't look like Rod. Oh.
We're good, we're good.
Colleen Sederman, who helped me found one of the most important things in my life, the Urban Zen Initiative, where we teach mind, body, and spirit, and really take yoga to a whole other dimension, finding the calm in the chaos in the hospitals. And not only does she do that, but she also teaches me how to find the calm in my chaos, and God, she's still working on it. But giving us a shot at it, I thought it'd be really great to start off with a little bit of a meditation, because I think most people don't realize, I guess for me, Urban Zen is, my dream is to have meditation in every school. I think meditation should be in every workplace. I think we should not start our day in every place and space, and I don't think the world would be in the chaos that it is if we just took the time to meditate. So, without further ado.
Question to the audience. Does everybody here feel that meditation is easy or hard? How many people think it's easy? How many people feel meditation is hard? It's really interesting, because I think what Colleen is going to do, and what I think most of us here practice is that how to make meditation as part of your everyday life and not make it hard. And I think what Donna has been doing at Urban Zen and bringing that consciousness is so important, to bring that it can be something that we can all practice daily in a very simple, easy, graceful way, right? Okay, everybody, uncross
With
your
Colleen,
legs.
no problem.
Those of you who are comfortable to slide your shoes off, go ahead and slide your shoes off. I have on striped Marimekko socks, so I'll just go right ahead.
That's why you wanted to take our shoes off. You wanted to show your socks.
I just wanted to show off my socks. These are the best. Okay, sit up on the edge of your chairs so that your feet are firmly in the floor. Good. Turn your palms to face the ceiling and just rest them on your legs. Slide your elbows back so they're right underneath the shoulders. Close your eyes. And just be aware of where your feet are touching the floor. But feel the feet relax and spread onto the floor. And then notice your thighs. And notice, just by noticing your thighs, they become heavy. And as the thighs become heavy, they move down into the groundedness of the feet. And as there's that release of the thighs, there's also the letting go of the need to fight or flight. So there's a settling. Notice where your sit bones are touching the chair. And notice your belly. And feel the fluidity of the belly. Feel the softness of the belly. Notice if there's any sense of acceptance or love when you notice your belly. Feel your rib cage. Feel how the rib cage responds to the breath. And now noticing your heart. And then slide your awareness just to the right of the heart. And feel how this is actually the way that we move through the world, especially as women. The capacity in the heart center is astounding. So there's an uncovering, an unshielding of the heart, just as we sit here and become embodied. feel your back. And feel like there's a broadening of the back, so there's a relief of the front body, so that the front body can be soft and vulnerable and receptive. Notice if the arms are supporting the lightness and the lift of the heart center. And then feel the head. If the body is supporting the head so that the heart can be more obvious. And then when you slide inside the head, a sense that there is a diaphragm inside the head that trickles down and drops into the heart. So the head clears of chatter. The heart opens with love. The legs release the need to fight or flight. And the feet touch Mother Earth. And slowly let the eyes open.
Thank you, Colleen. Whew. You can keep your shoes off, it's all right.
My shoes are too cool to leave off.
Barefoot in the park. You know, it's called getting grounded. Elizabeth, I'd love to start with you. I mean, certainly as a mentor and a teacher, and I think we've been on a path quite similar for quite a number of years, and realizing, I think now, for whatever reason, it seems like it's pulsing a little bit faster than it would normally. Is it because we're older?
I don't know. I mean, I think this is an audience of a variety of aged people. How many have that feeling that, let's say, the past 4, 5, 6 years, things have just reached this sense of more chaos than usual? Do people have that feeling? How many don't have that feeling? What about the rest of you? You know, I don't know what the answer to the question is. Is it because we're older? I always think to Dickens' book, Great Expectations, where he starts, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. I think maybe every era thinks their time is both the best and the worst, but I think the worst of our times is this sense of constant pressure to be doing more, to be doing it faster, to be in constant communication. And it takes a toll on our bodies and our hearts and our relationships and our minds, our relationships with our children and our mates and our community and our workplace. I feel it in my life. I have felt an increasing sense of pressure to be more, do more, and especially as the kind of people in this room who feel our world is hurting, a sense all the time, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough to help the world? And I think the purpose of this panel is to put aside for a moment that sense of pressure, am I doing enough to help the world, and to ask ourselves, what do we need to do to help ourselves every day so that we can help the world? Because there's nothing more contradictory and ironic than people trying to build peace in the world who are really at war with themselves. And it doesn't work. You know, Gandhi said, be the peace, be the change, be the love you want to see in the world. There's this sense that, like, if I'm happy, if I work on myself, if I'm at peace, I shouldn't do that because the rest of the world is hurting so much. That is a fallacy. The more peaceful and happy we are, the more our healing work in the world will be effective.
So beautifully stated. Thank you, Elizabeth. Well, my darling, you certainly have ate it, slept it, breathed it, drank it. And I'd love you to share some of your life and your story of how you found the calm in your chaos and what your chaos was. Or if you want me to speak about it.
Well, my chaos was my 20s, first and foremost. And then when I was 31, I was diagnosed with a rare cancer. And at the time, I was pretty terrified because I found out that there was no cure and there was no treatment. And I didn't know how aggressive it was going to be or what my life was going to look like. And the first few doctors that I spoke with suggested radical treatments, triple organ transplant, 10 years to live, things like that. So it turns out that I have a really lucky stage 4 cancer because we've been stable and living together. And I call myself a cancer thriver now. I feel it's been about 10 years and I can say it's a cancer thriver. I'm a cancer thriver. Thank you. But for me, because there wasn't conventional treatments, and at the beginning, I really didn't want to just sit back and watch and wait. I wanted to participate, just even for my own self-esteem. I wanted to participate in my well-being. So I literally left the oncologist's office and I went to Whole Foods. And I started to read books, and I started to educate myself and take weekend workshops and then full-blown trainings, and was researching the best diets and lifestyles for longevity. I made a film about it and have written several books about my process for women with cancer, but also now geared more towards prevention. And what I find, the more successful the crazy, sexy experience becomes, I find myself back to the early stages of being back in chaos, and not about cancer, but more about being busy, you know, and getting through the day and being a young entrepreneur and wanting to see great things happen for the people around me, not just me. So I feel as though I've been writing the books that I need to constantly read and remind myself of, and also reaching out to dear friends and creating a woman's circle, a posse that I can really fall back on and say, look, can I be myself? Can I not be the inspirational girl for a minute? Can I not be the thriver? Can I be the hot mess again? And it's important to have those women in your life. For me, Donna is one of those women. Recently, I read something about myself that just devastated me, and oh my gosh, you have this inspiration and this experience, I don't. And you know, she was able to say, believe the good, you got to believe the bad, move on, I love ya. You know? So I think that the chaos keeps coming, but how can we create a practice, a regular practice, and how can you surround yourself with women and men who nourish you?
No, you're such a beauty. Lisa, you do an amazing job. I think we all sit here as you're a mother, you're a wife, and a businesswoman. How do you balance it all? And thriving to do more.
I don't. You know, every day is a new adventure, and I'm always caught between that conflict of feeling like I need to do more and guilt at not having accomplished more. And you know, people ask me what I do. It's like, oh, I'm a housewife, and then I think about my life, and I actually have a lot more going on. But in terms of chaos, okay, this is how I deal. We're going to overshare because it's like my thing. But the way I personally deal with just about everything is to try and take it to where it's real and where it's universal and where it really resonates for me, because that's where I want to live. And most of the time I'm incredibly superficial and watch the Kardashians. But where I want to live is in the universal and in truth. And so for me, when I look at the chaos that my life sometimes tends to be, I try to think about chaos itself. And it's cliche now to think about it, but fractals is the art that comes from chaos, right? When you have random numbers generated out of a computer with no seeming pattern, the art that they create is spectacular. And I think in our own lives, certainly in my life, the chaos that seems to have no reason and be completely random is actually where I find meaning. And it's in those moments where everything is falling apart, where I realize what is falling apart, and the reason I feel so desperate is that it's my ego, and it's that false sense of control, that I actually control my life and I know what I'm doing, that needs to break apart. And the chaos actually provides opportunity. So when I feel like I'm failing utterly, and when I feel like I'm not connecting to the people that I need to the most, and when I'm not finding meaning in my life, in those moments of chaos is when I can, if I take a moment, and I think that the tools that Colleen offers, and people like Colleen, of centering, of meditation, of focus, when I take that moment and go to where it's real, that's where the opportunity for growth lies. And one of the things I think with chaos that's really important is, what are we focusing on? Because I do think focus, our life is our focus. I'm not a big proponent of The Secret, but I do think that what we have in our lives, and it's not even about manifestation, it's about being aware, is what we focus on. So this is not my exercise, I got this from Tony Robbins, he probably got it from someone else, but if I tell you for 5 seconds to look around the room and spot everything red, so just spot everything red, count to 5 things that you see red, okay? Now close your eyes really quickly. You've got 5, I'm sure. Close your eyes really quickly. Now list 5 things that are blue. You have no clue, right? You didn't see any blue things because you're focusing on the red. So I think part of the way that I cope with chaos is to focus on what is good, to focus on what I'm grateful for, to focus on what I can do, because that is the only way for me out of chaos.
Is sleep really the answer?
Napping.
I really, really want to know, does your sister sleep?
Napping is the answer. Napping.
Napping.
Greeks,
Napping.
take a lot of naps. We have siesta. And I think
Is
that
that meditation? Or is it real napping?
depends who you are napping with.
Okay.
So, sleep is part of the answer, for sure. I don't know if you've heard my sister, but she speaks endlessly about sleep, and we've been trying to get some sleep. Last night I was helping her pack to go to Los Angeles today, and I was on my BlackBerry, and she said to me, while I was helping her pack, and she said to me, "Darling, you shouldn't be on call on your inbox of your BlackBerry. You should give it a break. You should not always respond," which I think is a great key for all of us. When I look at my own chaos, I realized, first of all, I was telling Donna that we Greeks invented the chaos. The Greek gods and goddesses, they came out of chaos. Everything is chaotic. It's like you go into Greece now, and it's like the way people talk, nobody's ever fine. They're like either upset, they're very ecstatic, but there is no fine. There's no zen in Greece. So that was an interesting concept. So then I had to find my own balance. But I realized that for me, there was a specific moment in my life when my struggle and my wanting to be something out there, I started as an actress in London. I was very acknowledged as an actress, and I came in Hollywood, and I couldn't really get any jobs. And part of it, I always say, is that Hollywood didn't get me because I hadn't gotten me. So I had to go out on my search to find Agapi. And many things happened, including something that I auditioned for a part of a 6-hour for the Greeks, and I didn't get a part, even a tiny little part. And it was 6 hours of the goddamn Greeks, and you would think I'd get something. So I realized that I had to reverse, and I had to go back inside. And something snapped in the process of my spiritual growth and learning and studying, where I realized that I was not alone, and I was really in partnership with Spirit. And I allowed Spirit to take over my life. And what that meant is that I became more Spirit-led than personality, ego-led. And that truly, truly has been my practice daily now, where when I get up, I call forward that Spirit inside of me to lead me for the day. And it is magical, because like even a day like today, where I can come in and all the connections that are supposed to happen, and where my energy connects with others in the most wonderful way without being depleted. And my mother always told me, and Ariana, don't go out in the world to get. Replenish yourself, fill yourself, and go out in the world to share and to give and to exchange. But if you go into the world to get your fulfillment, it's not going to happen because the world is not there to fulfill us. We are there to tap to the inside, to our gifts, and then give them out. And that was my switch. I call it was before spirit and after spirit. BS and AS. So truly, because, and then from that, the extension of that is that then other people become the tribe. I mean, Ariana and I have this, and my nieces, but then it extends to that wonderful tribe that I think Donna talked about, and then each one of us creates our own, we have each other's back, but I don't think it has to be exclusive, and I think it's when we reach out of our own boundaries to the unknown people, to the ones who we think we don't know, we realize that we really are part of the human family and the human tribe. And that is, for me, the calmness. I have a saying in my door as I'm leaving my bedroom that says, don't leave home without it. Not your American Express card, but your presence. Because when you have your presence tells you what to do and how to do it, and it kind of makes life happen. And then you become such a contributor to other people. So that's
Beautiful.
That's my question.
Oh, God. I always go to the class. I mean, I love going to class. And no matter what kind of state I'm in, I hit that mat. And you can have people next to you sitting, really in what I would call not a very comforting space to do your practice.
You don't like to have people sweating all over you and kicking you in the face?
But being in union is so important. Because yes, I can practice at home and do my practice at home, and then I have to go to a much higher state to be in union with a higher level. But there's something about the community, coming into that class and being together. What does yoga mean to you? The word yoga, you're a teacher of yoga. We hear all this thing. Is it wrapping your legs around your head?
Do you want to see me do that?
Well, I know you can.
No, yoga is definitely not that. It's funny, I was thinking backstage that when I was a teenager, I was actually a drug dealer. And now, now that I'm in my 50s, I'm actually a yoga dealer. And I just don't actually understand how anybody lives in the world today without it. It's almost like, would you rather, we all want to help people, right? I get that. You wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be here if that wasn't our total mojo. But would you rather be sort of running around the world trying to help, right? With your eyes bulging and your forehead, your brain pushing through your forehead and your head in front of your heart, and I don't know, if you could do the same thing, actually that's just going to add chaos. That's not going to add calm, right? Even though the intention is there, right? When it's pushing and struggling, it's going to add to the chaos. It's not going to be a balanced human being. And I recently just saw a definition for wellness. It's like the state of believing that all is well. And then that creates compassion. And then the compassion overflows, and then that's what you're bringing to the world. In yoga, we call it santosha, contentment. So rather than saying the world is broken and I'm going to fix it, right? It's all as it should be. There's a story about Ram Dass, who was in Calcutta with his devotees. And he's just like so exuberant. And the devotees are like, how can you be so happy? Look at everything is a mess. How can you be so happy? He's like, but can't you see the perfection of it all? Right? So when we start from that place of beauty, of love, of compassion. Right? And we're walking around the world giving that, rather than I'm going to fix something that's broken. Right? And I'm going to just forge ahead, and I'm going to take on 25 projects, and I'm going to lose sleep, and I'm going to deplete myself. You're not really helping anybody in that way. So to just take the time to practice yoga, to practice meditation, even if it's only 5 minutes, because your capacity will be so much more, and what you'll be giving will be so much more beneficial. And as women, and as a group of women, the capacity that we have for compassion, right? We're talking a lot about we don't want to castrate our men, we need them, they're amazing, but they don't have the same ability or capacity for compassion that the women have, and that's what the world needs right now, is compassion, is love. But we can't do it if we are depleted and exhausted. Right? So, and there's no excuse not to get on your mat. Like Donna said, yoga is not really putting your leg around your head. That's just some stupid old-fashioned stereotype. We teach yoga to people that are taking their last breath. Right? We have a whole urban Zen. We teach yoga to people in hospitals. I've helped people die at this point doing yoga. Right? You can lay in bed and do every asana. Right? What we did today was what? 30 seconds, 60 seconds? That's yoga, and there's really no excuse. Oh, I don't have the time. I'm not flexible. I'm not strong. I can't do this. I don't want to be in a cult. It's none of that. It's sitting, watching your breath, letting go of the chaos in your mind, opening the heart, letting go of the armor. So there's real communication, and that's what yoga is to me. Namaste.
Certainly is. Thank you. Elizabeth, what is your dream? I mean, you certainly have had vision for so many years. And if you could do one more thing right now, what would you want to do?
Let's see. I'd probably like to do a million things, but I'm going to pick one. We've been holding this conference at Omega Institute for the last 10 years called Women and Power. I put it together about 10 years ago. Just wanted to play around with what happens when you put those two words together, women and power, because there seems to, we grow up thinking that that isn't something women should want, even though we are on a fast track, many of us in corporate America or starting our own businesses. There still is this sense in us as women, we shouldn't want power. We shouldn't want to be huge and powerful. So one thing I really want is for women to want power, but to want to redefine what power means. Power was defined by men to mean control over other people, over the earth, getting my way, getting my ego out there. I would like women together, collectively, to redefine what it means to be powerful and to show the world that we can share our power. We can empower each other. And in order for us to do that, we like to say women are more compassionate, but a lot of women will say to me, the least compassionate person I know is my female boss. I don't know a lot of compassionate women. When women get up there and are powerful, they're just as competitive, they're just as mean, they're just as egocentric. I would like us as women leaders to work on doing power different, and to believing that we can, and to knowing that the world needs us to. And the only way we can do that is to really support each other, to fall out of competition with each other, and to lift each other up, and to glow and quell over each other's success. I thought I had made up this word, but I found out I didn't. The dude movies, bromances? Well, this summer I started talking when I spoke about womances, about falling in love with tribes of women, having romantic relationships everywhere we go, and just loving each other as women and supporting that part of us that is sexy, that does it different. And, you know, we've been educated poorly. Even if we have master's degrees and PhDs, we have not been educated to love, to know how to be in relationship, to support each other. So I'd like us to educate each other about that and to redefine what it means to be powerful.
Kris,
My dream?
your one wish.
My one wish. Oh. Wow. Okay, so I might say, I'll go with a personal wish to share more about that. I think that my experience has really taught me how to develop a sacred relationship with myself. And it's the thing that I cherish the most. It's knowing, I forgot who said it, but I think you might have said it, well, all these women said it, but that you have your own back. And then taking that and saying, I'm going to develop a relationship with all these women who will then also have my own back. Because what I've realized is that I was a lot tougher on myself even when I just was starting healing and feeling like I had finally come into my own, and now I know what, you know, a green juice is, and I got very strict. And in that strictness, I created more inflammation in my body. And what I talk about is creating an anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle, and reducing stress and increasing joy. And I just had a milestone birthday recently. I turned 40, and I thought, how am I going to do the next 10 years? Am I going to further that relationship with myself? Am I really going to start to listen to what I need in a way that, though I have written that I have been listening to what I need, I have forgotten. And I need to continually remind myself that. So I think there's dreams of creating something that is geared towards prevention more, but the personal dream is to continue saying, hey, you, friend, hey, best buddy, what's going on? How can I help you today? And what do you need? What do you really need? And will I give it to you? Will I start to learn how to maybe disappoint people a little bit more? Because as you get busier, I find, and I don't know if you find this, but you can't do it all. And it's okay to actually disappoint people gracefully and strongly. So I'd say that's my dream.
Like that.
It's beautiful. Lisa?
I was hoping you'd shift it up here.
Okay, pass.
A new question. But,
Change the question.
Yeah, no, gosh, because I was thinking, do I have a dream? I have a dream. For myself, on a personal level, well, they're not disconnected. I think they are, in a way, the same. Personally, my one desire is to check out better than I came in, to be more fully human in the best sense of that word. Spiritual, kind, enlightened, rather than more of the universe than of the world. And part of that, I think, is to be more connected to my fellow men, women, and to do that, my dream is to actually listen to that voice that calls me to service, because I think that we all have a unique gift. And you know, you come to an event like this and you see that there is so much to do, and there are so many terrible things in the world that need tending all over the world, and you get sometimes overwhelmed, and you see this chaos and you think, how can I make a difference? I can't do anything. I can't go save all these young girls being trafficked. And what ends up happening is inertia. But we are all uniquely designed to do something. I think that is our gift, and I think that's why we're here. And I think we get clues as to what that is all the time. So whether it is the beggar that is in front of you on the street that day, or the telemarketer that happens to, you pick up the phone when you knew you shouldn't have, or Donna who comes into your life and has all these amazing projects. I think that for me, my goal is to become more aware of that intuition that I think we all have, that voice that is calling me to my place of service and use in the world, and to actually to take action on that and to be involved and to commit and to serve wherever it is that I am supposed to be serving.
Your turn.
Yes, darling, my darling Donna. She's an amazing woman. Well, I was thinking, I just written this book that I just finished called Unbinding the Heart. And it took me a year to write. And in the process of writing it, it was a sort of unbinding of myself and coming to what my heart really was about. And as I experienced it, I realized that the shame and what I had put between me and my heart were letting go. And I woke up about 2 or 3 weeks ago, because the book is done and it's put to bed and it's coming out in February, with the sense that my life as I had known it had ended. And I had kind of unleashed my life by telling the stories of my life and my mother, and stories of my parents passing, and my father asking for my mother for forgiveness for the things that he had hurt her. And I felt this real commitment to really come unbound and said, you know, there's nothing to hide. We're all the same. And what my calling is now, and it's so deep inside of me, and it is my dream, is to become a catalyst for other people to unbind. And I see you all here, and all my heart wants to do is move these chairs and have it like a big Greek dance. And really, I do inside of me, I go, how can I move these chairs and get these women to really tell them and see how beautiful they are, and that there is a calling inside to kind of, I see it like a picnic of love and food and celebration. And my dream is to really take this that is in my heart, that is very pure in all of us, because I think ultimately we are all one heart. And there is nothing else. The rest is separation of, you know, personalities and ideas, but it doesn't mean a thing, because if we were all on the Titanic together or on a plane, you know, if we're in danger, we would all feel our oneness. So why shouldn't we feel our oneness on a daily basis? And that's all there really is. And I think if we called ourselves forward in that oneness daily, life is miraculous and amazing. And so that is my dream. And it's something that I want to ask you for your support, because I want all of us to experience that unbinding of each other.
Is that? I'm so with you here. It's like I'm going, and I couldn't control myself at this moment. Because it has been my dream, you know, and I felt that we are all one.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, instead of the I, I've lived in, you know, so much of the I of me, and I really do believe in the we, and the me and the we, and kind of goes upside down, me, we, me, and the other thing of woman, and there is a man in every woman.
Yes.
And that we are all one.
Yes.
That the woman to me means love, compassion, birthing.
Yes.
You know, the ability to truly birth a new beginning.
Yes.
You know, and I think we're at a stage right now where a new beginning can be birthed. You know, and somebody, I'll never forget, as a designer, they used to go, oh, there she goes on her woo-woo trip again. You know, if I wore flats, if I showed with flats, I was in trouble, and if I was heels, I get 4 stars. This is that kind of other piece, that it's not either or, it's and.
Yes.
You know, to find the and the oneness that you were talking about. It was a dream of mine, it is, and probably my dream, is to create that oneness in me and then be able to touch
Exactly.
the next person, to the next person, to the next person, the next person. At 1 o'clock every single day, there's going to be a sound to be heard. And as the sun rises, I think it arises in, like, where's the sun rise? Remember the year 2000 when we all knew the millennium happened and we were watching?
Yes.
They had 2000. Well, at 1 o'clock every day, and I think it starts in the, I forgot, out east somewhere. Sun rises to every place. Where?
Greenwich.
Greenwich. Is that where the sun rises?
It's in Melbourne, Australia.
Melbourne. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That's the center for time.
Doesn't matter, we're all one.
okay, anyway. Well, wherever we'll show. Well, in Greenwich, here we're going to get through one way or the other. At that moment, there's a sound that gets heard. And that connection, every single person has to connect to another person, connect to another person, connect to another person. And then with all the negativity, we're all one. At the end of the day.
Is this something you're doing? Are we making this happen?
No, this is my dream. Yeah, I've been saying it. Listen, I got the UN over here. I've got the Clinton Initiative over here. Should it be in New York over here? And I've called them blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's starting right here. But we've got to create that sound to create a oneness that it is not about the me, but it is the we, but it is the me inside
To have a
of the
commitment
oneness.
at one moment in the day.
In one moment, every
where
day
you just
at 1
affirm
o'clock.
that. Yes.
It happens at 1 o'clock, and that we stop and connect with ourselves and to another human being. And then the whole world gets connected that way.
What time is it now? It's 4:20. Can
Can we do it tomorrow?
What's the
1 o'clock somewhere?
You guys can start that now. I mean, there's apps out there like Remind Me, right, where you could actually start that, where you're sending yourself a message
And
every
the
day.
other option is to, I love your plan, but in case it doesn't happen,
And you know I get neurotic over that. God forbid I can't create the world as one.
but in case it doesn't happen, my practice is to be in that state of communion with other people every minute. To stop all the time, whether it's my grandson or the grocery clerk or the person who's in front of me driving really slow and I'd like to ram into their car, or like to stop and be, whether I'm actually talking to that person or just around that person, just to put down this burden of thinking I'm different than, less than, better than, anything than, and just to be. And eye contact, even if people think you're weird, which I am, and just to be with each other. You know, I've met so many people through my work at Omega, and people often ask me, what's the best thing I've learned from knowing all these enlightened beings? And the best thing I've learned is that they're all exactly like me. They all go to the bathroom, they all get mad, they all have, egos, and no one is perfect. And we're all the same. We all are struggling with the same things. And when we put down that burden of thinking that it's different, that's enlightenment to me.
I wish that for all of us. Thank you. Pauline,
My dream.
I know what your dream is.
My personal dream is to be able to listen and be present all the time. The Dalai Lama says that his religion is kindness, and my dream was that my religion could also be kindness, and that I wouldn't show up with agenda all the time, but that I could listen. The other thing that I would personally love to do is to start embodying girls we have 3 teenage daughters, and to start then with them getting into their bodies and respecting their bodies and treating their bodies like they are a temple, and take that into teenage prostitution and just get them to appreciate how miraculous it is to have a body. And especially, I think a female body is just the biggest gift. And instead of just whirling around, giving it away, to really inhabit their body and to know what their body is saying and to listen to the body and to stop competing, especially as teenagers. So to get that demographic, and I think it's for me, that's my passion. My other passion is to have grandkids.
Agapi, I think you're going to sum it all up for us.
Yes,
And they just told me I had 1 minute, which is really kind of like,
but
I'm
can I-
always late and never on time.
You said
I'm
something
really
today
bad
that
about
I wanted to bring up that touched my heart. You talked about commerce and philanthropy.
Yes.
And your Haiti project.
Yes.
Because that was so touching to me about the future. How Donna is creating this future about making a difference practically, which is amazing. And I thought it's important that you tell them once you're
You're
done.
so sweet. Okay, I have 1 minute. And I'm supposed to be talking, I'm supposed to be giving, but thank you for your gift.
Yes.
Really, guys, the one thing I think we're all, because we sat on the phone and talked to each other before we came here to talk to you. And it was really important. We hope that we wanted to get you involved. Because it's not about me, it is about we. And that's what this conference is all about. It's about all of us. So what we're hoping to do is after this conference is you go downstairs and sign up. Where's your passion? Where's your life? Because create the community. Because the community can create the change. You know, whether it's, do I want to learn more about me in healthcare? Do I want to learn about how to help in education, how to help with the White Ribbon Alliance? And one of the things that I've taken on as a designer in going into the developing world, and you know, it's so funny, no matter how much chaos, when I went to Haiti, I found the calm. The calm was in Haiti. And what I did there is work with all the creative people there to create product. And I think it's a model that can be created throughout the entire world. You know, the creativity is in the land. It's in the people. And sometimes education isn't what we think education should be. You know, it's not necessarily reading, writing, and arithmetic, but it's giving of your heart and giving of your soul. And that's what an artist is. And so I want to share with you, we made these for the White Ribbon Alliance. And what it is, it's paper. It's a paper mache bag. And in Haiti, they make all these masks, but we got together and played with paper and came up with a bag. So if you go on to the White Ribbon Alliance's, you know, us and down at Urban Zen and downstairs, or this is a t-shirt bag. And it's all the cut-ups and the leftovers of t-shirts.
From
and it's
where?
a handbag.
From everywhere?
No, it's in Haiti,
From Haiti.
where they manufacture t-shirts.
Wow.
And all the money is going to the White Ribbon Alliance. So to me, the greatest gift is get it for yourself, give it to another
Yeah.
person, pass it on. And I
fantastic.
think that's the greatest gift of all. So you're not only getting something out of yourself, but the beauty is giving from somebody else, and the beauty of get yourself involved. So, and I want to thank every
you,
single person for
darling.
getting involved today and in their busy schedule, and really coming from upstate to downtown. What?
Let's start the ohm going.
Should we start
Yeah,
your
let's
own?
start the ohm going.
Okay.
Inhale. Pass it on. Spread the love.
Thank you all.
Thank you.